Hey, Forrest here. Nothing like getting paid. And with ICCU's mobile app, I can deposit checks or accept Zelle payments so the money hits my account fast. I just wish there was an app for mowing the rest of these lawns.
Right now, Lithia Ford of Boise is buying used vehicles. How much you want for the SUV?
I don't know.
Well, Lithia Ford will give you more than that.
How much more?
More than you think.
I'm not thinking anything.
I'm thinking you might get even more than that. See how much more you can get at Lithia Ford of Boise.
When it comes to concrete, we've got you covered. RowPaint.com offers custom concrete coating services for your garage, business, warehouse, and more. And we do it in one day. We are your complete concrete coatings solution.
Welcome to the Lithia Ford of Boise pregame show from Bronco Nation News. As we get you set for the latest news, insight, and analysis as game time approaches, the BNN pregame show is presented by Lithia Ford of Boise. Check out LithiaFordBoise.com to view the full inventory of vehicles, or check them out at 8853 West Fairview in Boise. Now, let's head out and join BJ Rains for the Lithia Ford of Boise pregame show from Bronco Nation News.
Hey, what's going on, Boise State fans? Happy game day to you. Boise State and Charlotte going to start at the top of the hour. We've still got the Texas A&M Murray State game going on, so we'll see if that delays things. So there's no warm-ups to show you yet, but Abe Jackson is here. This is the Lithia Ford of Boise pregame show, Bronco Nation News. We are at the Myrtle Beach Invitational. We are in Conway, South Carolina. We're not even actually in
Myrtle Beach Invitational in Conway.
Yeah, we're wrong on the town, I guess. It's the Myrtle Beach Invitational. It's not in Myrtle Beach. But either way, let us know if you have any problem hearing us, as always. No Colin, so I'm doing this on the fly here. But Abe, we've talked about it for a few days. Boise State, they're out here. We had the day yesterday to kind of get settled in, and a big one against Charlotte in the opener here in a little bit.
Yeah, and you got to love the draw that Boise State has in this tournament. You take a look at some of these other teams, and the draw that Boise State got is pretty favorable, I think, with Charlotte as the opening game. We have Murray State and Texas A&M that are on the court right now, and they're looking pretty good. But I like what Boise State's draw is. I like them opening with Charlotte. Get their feet wet here at this tournament, and yeah, hopefully get a win.
Everyone's commenting on your polo. Boise State is going with the orange polo, the orange uniforms tonight. So the coaches will be wearing the orange polo. You can hear Abe coming up bottom of the hour. He'll be on the call. 670 KBOI obviously is the color analyst for the Broncos. And Abe, what do you make? Boise State 1-1, coming off the nice win, had a couple days to kind of work on some things, regroup, made the long trip. But what do you make of the Broncos heading into this game?
Well, I really like the performance against Washington State, of course. You have a Pac-12 school, and you get a win, and you get a win pretty convincingly by 10 points. But what I really liked in that game is that you had your veteran guys take over the game. Marcus Shaver Jr., Tyson Dagenhart, and Max Rice, Najee Smith also in the mix. Those are the type of performances that this team's going to need, because you have some guys who either haven't played at Boise State or are real true freshmen who don't have all that experience. So seeing the veterans take over and really control the pace offensively and defensively was a big bright spot against Washington State.
Well, obviously Charlotte, Coach Rice was nice enough to let me sit in on the film session yesterday. So there's obviously some points of emphasis, but it seems like rebounding Boise State, some of the points that Boise State usually focuses on, but they want to control the glass in this game. They want to get up and pressure Murray State, kind of keep them outside, or Charlotte, and keep them from, getting and penetrating inside the three-point line. And but what are you looking at in terms of what Boise State needs to do to win this game?
Well, I think there's some games where you game plan for the other team, and then there's some games where if you just do what you're supposed to do as your team, then you're going to win the game. And I think that's kind of where we are with the Charlotte team. Now, if you talk about we're playing a San Diego State or someone else in conference, they're going to try and take away some things from that other team. But if Boise State just focuses on what they can control in their offense and their defense, I think they're going to come away with it. But one thing I am going to be watching on this is the glass, of course, and then also the free throw line. They've gotten to the line a lot, but haven't hit very many free throws when they do. So I'll be looking for that.
What do you make in these tournaments? And again, we got about a minute left in this game. Murray State is up by 7, so it looks like they're playing the foul game now. So we already had one upset in this tournament. We could have two. What's the key to these things? Obviously, Leon was really yesterday told me 3 or 4 times, hey, you can't go 3-0 until you go 1-0. You played in some of these preseason tournaments, whether it's the way you sub, whether it's whatever. I mean, I know there's you want to win this game, but you do know you have a game tomorrow and a game Sunday. But what's the best way to approach a tournament like this?
Well, I think that one of the things is it's going to show either strengths or weaknesses in a team's bench, because you can't go 3 games in 4 days and play your starters 35-plus minutes. You're going to have to go into the bench, even if it's someone that might not get a lot of minutes. I think you're going to see Coach Rice go further into that bench. There were some guys who didn't see the floor against Washington State. You're not going to be able to do that. If you burn everybody out in the first game, even if you get that win, then it'll just take its toll on the second game and the third game. So I think bench play for every team that's in a tournament like this is going to be big.
Okay, so then, Mo Silla, we haven't seen a lot of him. Sada and Ganga, haven't seen a lot of him. I know those are 2 guys that fans were really excited about. Maybe it's 1 big 3 from Sada or something, but do you expect those guys to get a little more run? And what do they need to do just in general to start earning more playing time?
Well, I do expect them to get some more time in this game because of the 3 games in 4 days. But when you talk about a transfer that comes in, and then you talk about a true freshman that comes in, you're always trying to get them to learn the system. Silla has played at Division I level, but now it's a completely different system. So he's learning a new system, maybe new emphasis from this coaching staff than his previous one. And then, of course, in Ganga, as a freshman, there's always a rocky road with freshmen, right? And so just getting to know the system, and the more days that they're in the film room and studying are going to get them more playing time, because you look at them running around, and really I think that's the only thing that's keeping them from being on the court, because they're both long, athletic, big guys. Final
thing or two here for Abe Jackson. You're going to hear him on the call in about 13 minutes on 670 KBOI. But Chibuzo Abo, a guy that the other newcomer that has started and has played some, but he's got 10 fouls and 5 points in 2 games. What is this the tournament? Is this the game where he finally breaks out? Because obviously, people thought he might be their leading scorer this year, and he's barely been a factor so far.
Yeah, and I think you're seeing a really good example of what we just talked about, is this guy who has played a lot of college basketball at a high level, and now he comes in, and Boise State's probably asking him to do some things that he hasn't done at maybe the other university, at Texas Tech, where he was. So you saw an improvement from South Dakota State to Washington State, and granted, he fouled out of both of those games, but I think he has the ability to be one of the best defenders on this team. Once he just kind of learns the system a little bit more, you look at him, 6'7", 225, a guy can move, he can jump, he's long. There's no reason that he can't be an elite defender, but I think it's just going to take a little time in the system to get to that level.
Can Max Rice be an 18-point-a-game guy? Or, I mean, is he? I don't know if it's going to hit that number, but what we've seen from him in the 2 games, someone said they're loving the floater. I mean, he's showing more of his game off this year. What do you make of what Max has done, and can he sustain this?
So, well, I think 18 a game is high. That'd be high for anybody to get 18 a game, but can Max give you like a 10 to 13, maybe 10 to 12? Of course he can. And that floater is a big reason why. He's going to get pressured on the 3-point line, because people know that he can shoot the 3. So what do you have to do if you're a 3-point shooter and they press you? You have to be able to put the ball on the floor and get by your defenders. And what I really like is when he gets by his defenders, he doesn't go too far. He doesn't get all the way into where that 6'11", 7-footer was against Washington State. He stops short, the floater right over the top. And then once you start doing that, it's going to open up the kickouts, because people are going to start knowing that you can also drive.
Okay, final thing quickly. What are your keys to the game here on the broadcast? What are we going to be hearing, and how do you think this thing plays out, man?
I think it's going to be defensive pressure from the Broncos. I think the Broncos are going to win this game. But what I want to see, and I think a key will be the rebounding, but also the free throw line. I'll be paying attention to that quite a bit. The first 2 games, they got off to a rough start offensively, but getting to the foul line really kept them in the game. Even though they're only shooting in the 60%, they got a bunch of free throws to keep them in those games. If the offense clicks and the free throws are going down, you could see a lot of points.
Well, we'll be listening, man. Appreciate your time as always, right. Abe Jackson. We can't do some cool segue because we can't show anything else right now. But Abe, we appreciate it. We'll let you get ready for your broadcast, and you can hear him again bottom of the hour here in about 10 minutes on 670 KBOI, and Abe's going to be joining us on every pregame show here the rest of the season. So we appreciate Abe, and thank you for coming on, man.
Sure thing. Thanks, BJ.
There he is, Abe Jackson, and hey, check out all of our sponsors, but most importantly, Lithia Ford. They are the sponsor of our pregame show here. There's 50 seconds left in this game, so as soon as it ends, we'll show you the warm-ups, and we'll get you set for tip-off here in just a minute. But we'll thank a couple of our sponsors for a second. We got interviews with Leon Rice, with Marcus Shaver, and the newest member of Boise State, Chris Lockett Jr. is going to join us as well. But make sure you check out Lithia Ford. Our family did, and you should as well. The season of snow and ice is on the way, but trips to the slopes or driving the kids to school shouldn't feel like risky undertakings. Say yes to adventure this winter with an all-wheel drive vehicle from Lithia Ford of Boise. Show Mother Nature who's boss in all-wheel drive models like the Ford Escape, the Ford Edge, the Ford Bronco, the Ford Explorer, and more. Choose the model, color, trim level, and options that best suit your wintertime needs. Your Ford, your way. Order today at LithiaFordBoise.com. Our road trip coverage is helped out by Idaho Central Credit Union, ICCU.com. We're down to 34.5 seconds left in this game, so we'll get you the action on the court as soon as the game goes final. But Idaho Central Credit Union, the sponsor of our road trip coverage, we appreciate them. Make sure you check them out at ICCU.com. Once you sign up for an account, you never have to go back in to the bank, and it's just super easy with all the online banking and all the mobile options they have. So make sure you check out ICCU.com. Our title sponsor is RowPaint.com, power and people, pride in painting. They are the official paint and coatings company of Boise State Athletics. We appreciate them. They've been with us since day one. We appreciate RowPaint.com. And if you're in the Twin Falls area, by the way, make sure you check out the deal they're offering right now, the promo code BNN-TWIN23. BNN-TWIN23. You put that promo code in when you're asking for your price quote at ROEpaint.com. They'll take 23% off your order. So they're trying to keep the crews down there in Twin Falls busy this winter and feeding their families. So help them out. Let them do an interior or exterior painting job for you, again, in the Twin Falls area or anywhere in the Treasure Valley and surrounding area. Just make sure you let them know you heard about it from Bronco Nation News. We are within 30 seconds to go in this game, and then we'll be able to take you back live to the court. It is 85-79 right now, by the way. Texas A&M trying to make a little bit of a comeback, but it might be too much. Murray State might be pulling off the second straight upset here. We're broadcasting courtside from the Cutwater Canned Cocktail Studios. Make sure you check out a Cutwater Canned Cocktail. 30 flavors, more than 30 flavors of premixed premium canned cocktails at your local gas station or grocery store. And again, those are real easy, and you can pick those up and be perfect to watch for the game tonight. Again, the game coming up at 7 o'clock. We are here courtside at the arena, and I can't show you the court or the warm-ups till this game goes over, but we are on the air here, and we could have two upsets in two games. We got a couple interviews that we want to show you. We can go ahead and play one of those now, I guess, to get that moving while we're waiting for this game to end. So let's see what we got here. Let's go Leon Rice first in this game. Leon Rice, if I can find it. Again, that clock is ticking down, and we will looks like we're going to have a second upset in two games in this tournament. Now, if I can only find where I saved the Leon Rice interview for the pregame show, that would be awesome. I will find that while we're playing the interview. Let's go ahead and play the newest member of the Boise State men's basketball team, Chris Lockett Jr. He committed today. He is a three-star player. He's obviously had a big-time day announcing his commitment and signing with Boise State. He actually signed last night. He had offers from Kansas, Baylor, LSU, Ohio State. This guy was a big-time prospect, and we talked about everything from why he chose Boise State, why his recruitment, theoretically dropped off. The recruitment didn't drop off, but the ranking did. He was still ranked as a top 150 player, but he still had the offers from Kansas, Baylor. All those schools were still wanting him when he chose Boise State today. So let's hear from Chris Lockett, and then we'll come back and show you Boise State warming up after the game. But this was my conversation, about an hour and a half ago. The newest member of Bronco Nation, Chris Lockett Jr.
Pretty good, knowing that I'm going to a place where it feels like home and the fan base, makes you feel like family. I mean, from watching the game Saturday, they just, they're unbelievable, honestly.
And that wasn't even the home arena, obviously. That was about half the size of what the normal games are. What was the visit like to Boise over the weekend?
It was pretty good, just, bonding with the coaching staff, just asking them questions, seeing where they head at, and just, looking through the fan base and just seeing how they are as fans.
What got you interested in Boise State? How'd they end up on your list to begin with?
Randy and one of the coaching staffs, they're close, and he was just, they wanted me, but they didn't really know if I was available because other schools was really recruiting me hard. So they were just talking, and Randy just asked me, are you interested in Boise State? I was like, yeah. And then that's when the whole coaching staff, we just built a bond over time.
And you're talking about Randy Livingston, right? The former coach of the Idaho Stampede is now your high school coach. What did he tell you about the city of Boise and stuff and the program?
When he first told me, because I'm like a city kid, he was just like, just be open to it, and just explore life and just have an open mind about it. And that's what I did, and we just grew a bond closely, and just talked every day. And we had a visit. I was supposed to visit on my birthday, but we had a game. But he was just telling me, they want you really bad, and you should just go take a visit. You'll love it.
Hey, aim the camera down a little more so we can see you, man, if you don't mind. All the Bronco Nation wants to see you there. We appreciate it. So what other schools, I don't know if you had like a Final 3 or a Final 5, when you decided to make it official last night, who else was on your list?
LSU, Baylor, Kansas, and Tulane.
And what is it about Boise? I mean, those are some big-time power programs there. What was it about Boise State where you felt like that was the spot for you?
I just wanted to come in and be a main factor to a team, just come in and play, just help the team out in any kind of way and just be a winner, honestly.
Well, what is your expectation and what should Bronco Nation expect from you when you get on the court next year, man?
Just win a lot of games, win the Mountain West, go in the tournament, be underdogs. That's the whole thing with Coach Rice. He was just be an underdog and surprise a lot of people next year.
What do you make of the program, man? They obviously won the Mountain West Championship last year, got to the big dance. Obviously, they got high hopes again this year. I mean, do you see this as a program that can do some things and that you can add to that?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, for sure.
Well, what do you think about kind of the direction of Coach Rice in this program? And they set the record for wins last year. I mean, do you think you can help take them to even new heights?
For sure. I feel like we could win the whole, NCAA tournament, honestly, in my eyes. For folks who don't know, they saw you were top 15 in the class at one point a couple years ago, and then obviously rankings changed and all that. But did you have an injury, or what do you think's kind of changed the last couple of years with your recruitment and stuff? I was dealing with injuries. And I was just trying to play through it. Like, I wasn't trying to save my body. That's what, I wish I would have known now instead of just, being a kid, just wanting to play. I love the game a lot. I wish I would have saved my body and, people didn't see past that. They thought, they thought I wasn't injured. They thought I was perfectly fine as how I played, but I was still growing.
What were you dealing with?
Tendonitis.
Okay, in where, one of your legs or something, or your knee?
Both of them, yeah. Both
okay,
knees.
Is that completely past now?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so what is kind of now that you're locked and loaded and you're signed, what's kind of your goal here for your senior season, I guess, and just to know kind of what your future holds? Is it nice to kind of take a deep breath and not have to worry about the recruiting process and all that anymore?
Yeah, for my senior season, just of course win a lot of games, but I want to, make Newman nationally ranked. It was never nationally ranked before, so that's just one of my goals as a team, and just win state. Obviously I have my personal goals, but I'm a team first guy.
So you're going to be following Boise State a lot, watching the games, and you're going to. What's kind of now that you're part of the family here? They're obviously in the tournament starting today here in Myrtle Beach, but you going to try to watch as many games as you can, I guess?
Yeah, if it don't conflict with our schedule of practicing and playing games, I'm always open to watch. Like tonight, I can watch the game tonight.
Who was your host on the visit? Tell us a little more about the visit, and that you mentioned the game against Washington State. That was in a smaller, arena they don't use very often. But were you still able to kind of imagine when you went in Extra Mile Arena, kind of what that place would be like rocking for a game?
Yeah, for sure. Brodo and Coach Moats, they was both my, they was helping me on my visit. Just talking to me, just leading me and just telling me, you could be, the missing piece for us to take championship and everything, honestly.
Which any of the players you get close with, or who you've been friends? Okay.
Tyson. And it was another kid that was on the visit with me. His name was E-Man.
Yeah.
We was talking. I'm talking a lot.
You see, Tyson and yourself, and they got Sada and some other guys. You feel like there's a nice nucleus there for you guys to come in and do some damage?
Yeah, for sure. A lot of people are going to be sleeping on us, but that's what Coach Rice likes. He likes underdogs, honestly.
And I guess final thing, man, as we get set to watch this game against Charlotte here, what's your you got Boise State fans all over the world watching this, and they're obviously pumped, and then we're retweeting everything today. What's kind of your message, I guess, to Bronco Nation now that you're officially in the family here?
Just I'm going to come in, as a New Orleans South person. I'm going to be new to everything, so I'm just looking to have fun, win games, and make new friends and family out there.
There he is, the newest member of the Boise State men's basketball team, Chris Lockett Jr. We appreciate him for coming on. The teams are on the floor warming up. You can see Boise State down there. I apologize for not having the best view here. I'll be across from the Boise State bench during the game, but right now I'm at the other end. You got the great Tim Simmons from ESPN providing all the stats and things, but having a lot of fun here as we get set. You can see the Broncos going with the orange uniforms tonight for the opener of the Myrtle Beach Invitational. They're stretching, doing some warming up. We're about 29 minutes or so from tip-off. This game will be on ESPN News. ESPN News is where you can find this game. And, again, it'll be on ESPN News. Coming up at the top of the hour, we've had 2 games and 2 upsets so far. So if you're, Boise State, you got to be thinking, okay, we've seen 2 upsets in this game already, or in this tournament. And so you certainly will have to be ready, because you're not a big favorite in this game either. It's 3 points, 3.5 points, I think, is all it is in Vegas for this one. So even though the computer rankings favor Boise State, the game is seem like it's going to be a pretty close game here. So I like the orange uniforms, by the way. That's one of my favorite combinations for Boise State is the orange uniforms. So the Broncos out there are warming up. I saved 2 interviews to show on this show, and as luck would have it, I can't find them right now. Let's see. Maybe I'm looking in the wrong spot here. Let us know your score predictions. Where are you watching the game from? How you feeling about this, Boise State fans? Let us know. We'll get your score predictions on there. Hopefully we'll have some prizes here moving forward. We're going to have our Boucher Real Estate Player of the Game as well after the game. Get your click in. I'm going Chibuzo Abo today as my player of the game. I think he's due to break out. I think that this has been a frustrating 2 games for him, but I think that there's no reason why this shouldn't be a game that Chibuzo Abo breaks out. Again, he's got I want to say 2 games. He has 10 fouls and only 5 points. So this is certainly going to be a game where I think that he can finally get a chance to get out there and do some things. Was in the by the way, I was the coaches were nice enough to let me go in the video session yesterday, and I can't give everything away. I can't give everything away, but I was able to be in the huddle or the little video film session yesterday, and I would say 2 things that are going to be key in this game to watch for are rebounding, and also to not let Charlotte get inside the paint. They like to cut, and they like to do back cut and a lot of quick cuts. They're what's called a system offense. So you're going to be seeing them obviously trying to run some back cuts and things. They also have a couple of big guys that can shoot threes. So both their big guys, their starting center, he can shoot threes. Make sure you pay attention to that. But it's certainly a situation where we good? Yeah, we're good. Okay, just see what was going on. I'm going to bring the Leon Rice interview in here in just a minute if I can find it. But watch for the rebounding, and then also watch for Charlotte trying to get into the paint. Charlotte's going to try to, as I said, get into the paint and do some things. But if Boise State can keep them around the 3-point line, that would be huge. And that would give Boise State will like its chances if it can keep Charlotte out of the paint, because they like to take a lot of bad twos when they're getting forced. And ball pressure. Ball pressure is the big one that I was told by the Boise State coaches, or I guess that I saw. They're going to pressure the ball, try to get their hands up in their faces, and that is certainly something to keep watching in this game. And again, you've had some nice contributions, but in a 3-game tournament, you're not going to be able to win the tournament in day one with 5-6 guys. They're going to go pretty far down the bench. You're going to need some guys to step up. Maybe this is the Sada and Ganga game. Maybe this is the Mo Silla game. We'll see. There's certainly some. I think somebody else is going to have to step up in this game. We got some comments coming in here watching from Houston. A&M about to lose. They just did lose. We got what happens first, 15 points from Abbo or third foul out. I would say 15 points, and it wouldn't shock me if that came today. I think he is ready to go. We got 79-71, and Degenhardt is going to be the Matt Boucher player of the game. Boucher Real Estate, that's what Shane Hughes said. Stetson excited is for the game and for the team. Perfect day for a sick day to watch some Boise State basketball. Is there a size difference between the two teams? Well, you see Boise State warming up down there. We'll let you get a look at Charlotte here for a minute. They do have, I would say no. I would say the two teams look pretty comparable. But again, both big guys, including, I believe it's number 15, Khalifa is their big guy. He likes to shoot the three a little bit, so keep an eye on him. And their leading scorer is Jackson Threadgill, number 12. He's averaging 15 points a game. They got two other players that come off the bench that are also doing things there. Two of their better players actually come off the bench. And this is a situation where the head coach of Charlotte, Ron Sanchez, is a disciple of Tony Bennett. So you're going to see some principles from Virginia when you look at how they play and some of the things that they're certainly going to try to do defensively and things like that. I think I have the interview with Coach Rice queued up. We'll continue to show you the warm-ups. We'll kind of cut in and out of the warm-ups while Coach Rice is talking. But I caught up with Coach Rice yesterday, and here's Coach Rice talking about playing this tournament and getting ready for the game today. Well, how are you feeling about things being here for 24 hours almost?
Well, it was good. We beat travel, made it here safely and pretty efficiently. It's a long ways away, but our guys bounced around terrific today, and they're excited to play. I love that. I love these tournaments for that reason. You get 8 teams here. We're all kind of staying in the same hotel, and teams that we know are good and that we have a lot of respect for. But our guys are excited to play. I could see it today in practice.
Long day of travel, obviously. How nice is it to try to get your legs back under you and have the extra day today?
Yeah, that's why it's important when you come all the way out to the East Coast. Is that extra day is important. Today would have. We got in really late last night, and then, getting these guys fed and into bed quickly, and but they needed this day to kind of get their legs under them, get acclimated to the arena, which is great. We'll be ready to go tomorrow.
What are the big keys against Charlotte?
They really well coached team. They're one of those teams that, man, you got to get after them. You got to go beat them. They're not going to beat themselves, and this time of year, teams like that win a lot of games because a lot of teams are beating themselves. And, in that first game we had 250 things we did wrong, and then we cut that maybe in half. And if you do that against a team like Charlotte where you have a lot of things wrong, they'll exploit you. And they're one of the better back-cutting teams. They run kind of a Princeton style and a lot of similarities there with the Air Force stuff. And so that's hard to guard. And then they're so well-schooled defensively. Their coach is old Tony Bennett, worked with Tony, and somebody I've known for a long time. Really good coach. So we're going to have to be rock solid.
Through 2 games, what are you most pleased with what you've seen and what's concerning the most to you so far?
I think what I'm really most pleased with is what we're able to address and what we're able to identify as weaknesses. We go out and work on them and fix them. And so I want to see that carry over from our last game of, hey, we identified some things we got to get better at. And if we can make that jump, we're going to make another jump, on the scoreboard.
You talked about needing more depth. What can guys like Mo and Sada and those guys do to, in practices like this to earn more time in the games?
Well, a little bit today, but mostly yesterday, because today, it's hard because you're playing 3 games in 4 days, and you got to really lock in mentally. There's not a lot of physical banging and running around because we got to have our legs for three days. That's tough.
Well, just in general,
but what I've seen in practice is they're trying to do the things that we're asking them to do to get better and showing us that. You got to show us what you can bring to this team on the floor in practice so we can get you out there more. And I've had some guys do that in the last couple of days.
Is the group of guys I know camaraderie is always a big deal, but it seems like these guys all like each other.
They do. That's what I love about them. And the character of this team is really high. The work ethic is really high. The coachability is really high, which leads to a really, really high ceiling.
And with the tournament, final thing, I know you got to win the first game first, but how do you, going into tomorrow, I guess, how do you feel and how do you kind of look at this where it is 1 game, but it's also 3 games?
Right, absolutely. But it is. You said it right. It's a 1-0. You can't win the tournament if you can't go 1-0. And, but the opportunities keep coming and they come quickly. And so you got to be able to turn the page quickly and respond, win or lose, because I've been in these tournaments when, one time we played Kentucky and Indiana on back-to-back days. I mean, probably in the history of basketball, unless it was the Harlem Globetrotters traveling team or somebody, nobody's done that. So the opportunities are great, and you can't spend too much time celebrating. You can't spend too much time feeling sorry for yourself. You got to go, you got to look at it that each game's in its own bubble, and it's a great opportunity.
And I know I asked you back in Boise, but I mean, to have a bracket, like to have a tournament title you're going for.
Yeah.
I know you want to win every game. I know you go into Saturday's game or whatever against Washington State.
Right.
Don't get money, but just to have a bracket and have it something a goal this weekend. Does that make it a little more exciting?
It does, and that's why you play in these, and that's why they're fun. They're fun to watch, and they have a championship to them, and you get all tournament teams. All those kind of things are neat. I mean, I look back on my memories of coaching college basketball. Winning these tournaments has been great, and here at Boise, we've been in the championship. Sometimes, but we haven't won one yet. So you get to accomplish a milestone that we haven't done here. They're hard to win. I mean, you get in these tournaments because you have a good program. So all the other 7 teams have a good program too.
And I know you're trying to get quad 1 wins or games.
Sure.
I mean, do you like the way the bracket's set up?
I do, just because, like I said, there's great opportunities and there's great teams. Funny thing about these tournaments that I've seen over the year, you can map out who you think's going to win, but there's always, craziness and upsets. And, I think last year Marquette was the one in our tournament that surprised everybody, and everybody had it pigeonholed for this team, that team. West Virginia, Marquette was really good. And so teams emerge that maybe that are better than people think. And, when you watch these tournaments around the country, you'll see that.
As you said, it's time to let the fur fly, I guess.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Hayes in the barn, they're ready to go.
There he is, Leon Rice. We appreciate him for coming on there. They had to kick all the fans out, then you had to come back in, so they're filling up the session here. We're about 19 minutes until tip-off. We'll show you Boise State warming up at the other end of the court. Both teams on the floor, the officials on the floor. Again, appreciate everybody that has tuned in. This is one of our better viewed shows, so we appreciate it. This is a Lithia Ford of Boise pregame show. We appreciate Lithia Ford of Boise, all of our great sponsors for helping make this happen. Bronco Nation News, the only local media outlet from Boise that made the trip here. So nobody else other than Abe Jackson, who's calling the game, made the trip from the media. So hopefully you're liking what you're seeing. You'll consider a subscription if you're not already subscribed. You can help fund our efforts, the travel costs and things like that to be out here and provide you these shows. But we'll have a live post-game show as well. We're not done yet, but just letting you know, we will have a live post-game show. Coach Leon Rice and a player will be on live with us after the game. So come back here after the game. YouTube's the easiest way. Make sure you're following us on YouTube. But after the game, we'll be starting up even pretty quickly, probably like 5-10 minutes after the game. We'll fire this thing up here courtside. We'll get you the all the post-game stats and reaction, maybe some highlights, and then we will have Leon Rice and a player sitting down with us live here on the pregame show. As we'll see if Boise State is 1-0 or is moving on. And Josh, I know you tried. Email me, man. I want to help you out. There was a problem that day. Send me an email, Josh, rains@bronconationnews.com, rains, R-A-I-N-S, at bronconationnews.com, and I'll try to help you out. Colorado State is up 33 on South Carolina, by the way. That's a really nice win for them. Somebody's asking what time they could play tomorrow. I know Jordan helped out there, but, 7 p.m. Eastern if they win. It'll be at 5 p.m. again. If they lose, it'll be at 7:30. And, again, you just had, you now have a semifinal matchup on the winner's side and the other side of the bracket of Murray State and UMass. How about that? Either Murray State or UMass is going to be in the championship game of this tournament. You've got Colorado and A&M playing like everybody thought, but that's going to be in the loser's bracket game. So one of those teams, either Colorado or Texas A&M, is going to be looking at 0-3 in the tournament. They'll be playing in the 7th place game, going on Sunday. So, Boise State will play the winner or loser. If Boise State wins, they'll play the winner of the next game. If they lose, they'll play the loser of the last game of the day, the 4th game that starts at about 7:30, and that is Loyola, Chicago, and Tulsa. You would think it would be Loyola, Chicago, but based on what we've seen so far with the 2 upsets in 2 games, that's no given. So we'll have to see what happens there, but certainly it's been a day of upsets so far. Boise State trying to avoid that. They're, I think, about a 4-point favorite. in this game so far, so we'll have to keep that in mind. Hey, I want to thank a couple more of our sponsors. If you're looking for a new job, how about Transportation Compliance Service? Become a truck driver. Transcompservice.com. Whether it's the big rig on the screen or the Amazon truck in your neighborhood, trucking industry is booming right now, and if you're looking for a fresh start, give Transportation Compliance Service a call. Tell them you heard about it on Bronco Nation News, and they'll give you a great rate and get you all the permits and things you need to get out there towing that first load in no time. There's my dentist, Dr. Meinert, BoiseDentistryCo.com. Make sure you check them out. Locations across the Treasure Valley from Mountain Home to Caldwell and everywhere in between. I just stopped by their new location on Eagle Road the other day. It was a great spot, so check them out, BoiseDentistryCo.com, to find the location near you, and we appreciate their support. Another local business helping folks all over the country, though, United Commercial Insurance, UnitedCommercialInsurance.com. 44 states around the country, they can write business insurance policies in, so make sure you check them out at UnitedCommercialInsurance.com, and if you're a local Treasure Valley business owner, they would love to help you out. Ridley's Family Markets, shopridleys.com, locations across the Treasure Valley, across the state of Idaho, 13 in the state of Idaho to be exact. Love that Kuna location, but they got the at-home shopping, the Skip app, the home delivery, all that great stuff. Make sure you check out and support Ridley's Family Markets. The Blue and Orange Store as well. We'll get back to showing you the warm-ups here in just a minute, but the blueandorangestore.com, $40 order online gets you free shipping. That's right. Make an order online of at least $40. You get free shipping from the blueandorangestore.com. They got all the new polos, the coaches' polos you're seeing them wear tonight, the orange polos, all that great stuff, the jerseys. Make sure you check out the Blue and Orange Store, and you will be not disappointed with all their deals and specials, the blueandorangestore.com. And, of course, Matt Bauscher, Bauscher Real Estate. Appreciate him, the number one ranked realtor in the Treasure Valley. Check him out. Next time you're looking to buy or sell a home, Matt Bauscher wants to help you out. And, again, BauscherRealEstate.com is the spot to go to there. You can see Boise State warming up on the court. We got 14 minutes on the clock. The opening round of the Myrtle Beach Invitational, which is not even in Myrtle Beach. It is in Conway, South Carolina. We're on the campus of Coastal Carolina. Looks like the captains are getting ready to meet at center court here. We'll show you that. Looks like we got one of the best officials in the business, Pat Adams, who's refed the national championship game a number of times. The African-American official there in the back of the screen. So it looks like we have at least one of the officials. I recognize one of the best in the business, Pat Adams. He's mostly an SEC ref, I believe, and does some Big Ten games as well. So we'll have to see how they do tonight. But, again, the game will be on ESPN News coming up at the top of the hour. We're going to have the full post-game show. You see Boise State starting to exit the court. We'll show you a little bit of Charlotte's warm-ups now. But make sure you come back post-game. Make sure you tell your friends. Subscribe to that YouTube channel, please. We're trying to get those numbers up. Just hit that button in the corner of the screen. We would love to have you. And we're going to have some awesome coverage of this tournament here. As I said, we're the only media outlet in Boise that made the trip to cover this tournament. So Boise State's helping us out and taking care of us a little bit. We're going to get Coach Leon Rice one-on-one. We're going to get a player one-on-one. It's going to be a lot of fun here post-game. So make sure you come back and check us out after the game at BroncoNationNews.com, the YouTube channel, and the Facebook page. You can check us out on Twitter if you'd like, but I cannot take your comments on Twitter. So if you're watching on Twitter, I can't put your comments on the screen. And also with all the things that are going on with Twitter right now and the unstable, future, I guess, there, easiest way is make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel and subscribe to our Facebook page. Those are the two ways to get the videos and things if Twitter does end up going down. You can see the crowd over there. There are some Boise State fans that made the trip. How about that? We got a nice little crew of Boise State fans that made the trip. So this is going to be fun. So they're going to do the national anthem and things. So we're going to get out of here. But appreciate everybody for checking us out. Thank you so much for giving Bronco Nation News a watch. And we hope that you will come back for the post-game show. And again, we'll be back about 5-10 minutes after the game with the post-game show. We'll have Coach Rice live. We'll have a player. Looking forward to that as well. So check us out. Lithia to Boise, Bronco Nation News pregame show. Appreciate you. Enjoy the game, top of the hour, ESPN News. And we'll be back afterwards with coverage. Bronco Nation News, BroncoNationNews.com.